Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of here on Music of the Mountains, Jindo Dog Journeys. This is a music episode that we're going to do today. I have here a stack of recent vinyl records that I have acquired. And I wanted to just kind of quickly go through them and share them and have a little discussion about them. But first, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, I encourage you to do so. My channel is a combination of things. It is basically music in one camp and hiking with dogs in another camp. So it's kind of a combination of the two, hence the name Music of the Mountains. Jindo Dog Journeys is kind of a reference to me and my wife's dog, which is a Jindo dog. Jindo dogs are not very common here in the United States. They're a South Korean dog. But they make great pets and companions and excellent hiking companions. If you are someone who likes to be moving a lot like I do and hiking out and exploring out in the great outdoors, Jindo dogs are perfect for that. So that is kind of in a nutshell what the channel is about. If you go back and look at all the videos I have posted, you will see there's a lot of hiking videos and there's a lot of music videos discussing albums or other kinds of music selections that I have composed myself and recorded. So today I want to talk about some recent vinyl finds. Yesterday had an opportunity to go to a brand new record store in Salem, Oregon called Drum Bug Records. Got the shirt right here. I decided to pick up the shirt in addition to a few records because I really was impressed with this place, and I'm hoping they do really, really well. They just opened in July, and hopefully they'll have a long, successful future in front of them. I like the atmosphere, really like the owners, and I like the selection of music that they had both on vinyl as well as CD. They had some great books, as well as some instruments in there. So one of the finds, I guess I call it that I got yesterday was this one, The Tubes. Pow! This is the third Tubes album that came out in 1977. So who are the Tubes? Who are the Tubes? Not a band that most people are probably super familiar with, but they were a band that started in the San Francisco Bay Area in the early 1970s, and just kind of an experimental rock band, I guess, experimental is the word to emphasize. They pulled in a lot of different kind of styles here and there in their arrangements and compositions throughout the years, and a lot of variation can be found in their records. Their lyrics are kind of noted to be a bit on the sarcastic side, but really good and an interesting music overall. If anyone out there is familiar with Captain Beefheart, the Tubes covered his song "My Head Is My Only House Unless It Rains" on this particular album. So yeah, the Tubes. Now it's their third release from 1977. Another good album I got yesterday at the record store was the first Foreigner album. Yeah, this one was really good. Really like this album. Of course, it has the hit "Cold as Ice" on it, and other great songs. But I think overall, this kind of gets overshadowed a little bit by what came after it. You know, albums that sold millions and millions of copies at the time, like Head Games and Number 4. You know, this one is really good. I hear a little bit of progressive rock in it at times, hard rock, just very listenable, and I really enjoy it. So yeah, the first Foreigner album from 1977. And another one I picked up yesterday at this new record store is Sammy Hagar's Street Machine solo album from 1979. This was his 4th studio album. Okay, so like this, Never Say Die is a great track. This Planet's on Fire, great song. Song Wounded in Love was actually written by his ex-wife, Betsy Hagar. Really good song, and in general, I kind of like the second side of the vinyl a little bit more than the first, but still a really strong album overall. Really good songs, strong songs. Um, he's a strong guitar player. You know, is he a virtuoso kind of guitar player? I don't think so, but he knows how to come up with a riff and keep that riff prominent throughout a song or an album. And yeah, I really enjoy a lot of his solo music, and I really enjoy the Sammy Hagar era of Van Halen too. I just think that he kind of gets unfairly criticized sometimes for you know, people thinking that he was the one that took Van Halen in this keyboard heavy direction once he joined the band. I don't think that was the case at all. He was a guitar player. He was a guitar player long before he joined Van Halen. You know, so whatever. Anyway, okay, I didn't get this one at the record store yesterday, but this was another recent acquisition. It's the third Prince album, Dirty Mind. Really like it. Very punchy songs, very concise, very listenable, very engaging. Yeah, it pulls in some different styles. You got funk, you got a little bit of new wave in places, you got a little bit of rock, a little bit of disco, pop. Just a good album from Prince. Early on, it's one of those pre-Purple Rain albums of his, and I imagine it probably caused some controversy in the minds of some people at the time, but yeah, it's just very listenable, very enjoyable. Really like it. Okay, so this is an album recently acquired by the band Grunt Truck from 1992, album called Push. Had this on cassette way back in the day. So Grunt Truck was a band from Seattle, and they kind of came out, or at least kind of got a little bit of momentum at the same time as all the other grunge bands of that era did. Of course, they didn't achieve the same kind of success as many of them, but I think they had a couple of minor, I don't know if minor hits is the term, but they had a couple of songs that were singles on this album and got some attention. Anyway, if you liked the heavier side of grunge, like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Tad, then I think you would like Grunt Truck because they were a much heavier band. A lot of metal influences in their songs on this album. Really good album. Like I said, I had this on cassette way back then, liked it. This was a reissue. And just real quickly here, let me show you what the wax looks like on this reissue. Really nice, kind of splattered paint on it, which is very eye-catching. And it's a nice gatefold release. So, Grunt Truck, Push, 1992. Okay, so another recent acquisition I got. The first Perfect Circle album from 2000. So yeah, to recap quickly, Perfect Circle. Who were they? Perfect Circle was a project that Maynard James Keenan, the lead singer of Tool, spearheaded. He had Billy Howerdale with him, James Eha from the Smashing Pumpkins, other musicians. This was their first release, 2000. Great album. They had a couple of other albums as well. This is my favorite. Really like it from start to finish. Kind of artistic, psychedelic, heavy rock. Just very enjoyable. Always liked it. Glad to have it on vinyl. Another recent acquisition is this one. This is a band called Graveyard from Sweden. If you haven't heard of Graveyard, please check them out. They're a band that has began in the 21st century, probably within the last 10 or 15 years, probably 15 years, sometime in the last 15 years. This is from 2015, Innocence and Decadence. kind of a stoner rock band with some psychedelia mixed in. I really like the song The Apple in the Tree on this. Just kind of getting familiar with their discography now, and we'll be checking out more of their music. Okay, this one, April Wine. This was their 10th album, I believe. It came out in 1982. Power play, just straight up in your face hard rock. Like I said, they're from Canada. They were from Nova Scotia, Canada. Yeah, had quite a few albums. Had a few more after this, I believe, and I have a lot of them on CD, but this is the first one I have on vinyl. I really like the song Runners in the Night on this, the last song on the album, but, you know, Blood Money is good, Ain't Got Your Love is good. There's a lot of good songs on this. April Wine, if you just like cranking loud guitars, just straightforward rock and roll that's hard-edged, you know, give April Wine a chance. Okay, this one, some old American thrash, Armored Saint. Yeah, I think this was their second album from 1985, Delirious Nomad. If you like John Bush's vocals, like I do, you'll like this. Really good. And finally for tonight is the most recent Steven Wilson album from 2019, The Future Bites. Of course, Steven Wilson is the lead singer and guitar player from the English band Porcupine Tree. Porcupine Tree is kind of what made him famous, and they took a very long hiatus starting around 2010 and regrouped about a year ago and have just recently released a new album of their own, which I really like. But this particular Steven Wilson album is very different than his other solo releases. Very little guitar on it, a lot of different kinds of styles, more electronic styles, and just because of all that is just very fresh to me, very fresh to my ears. And I think it's my favorite, actually, of his solo releases. That might be a controversial statement because I know this album is kind of maligned by his fan base because of some of the different directions he chose to go down, but not in my mind. It's number one in my book on his solo releases. Really like it. If you were hesitant about this or just want to close the door on it, I'd encourage you to give it a second chance. Man, it's good. Anyway, there you go. So there's 10 recent vinyl acquisitions that I got. I will maybe go through some more of my vinyl collection here in future episodes. But yeah, let me know what you think of these releases. If you've heard them, if you listen to them, if you like them, you hate them, or whatever. And again, feel free to subscribe to Music of the Mountains, Jindo Dog Journeys, and rock hard, and we will see you again.